Muriel Bowser. Today I'm joined by Chief Peter Newsham and members of the Metropolitan Police Department to announce an arrest of a suspect in two incidents of violent sexual assault and burglary here in Ward 1 in the 1600 block of Irving Street Northwest. I want to thank our MPD detectives, investigative services bureau for their diligence in this case. I also want to thank our residents who cooperated with the investigation, shared tips and video footage, which ultimately assisted MPD in this arrest. As we continue working with the victims to ensure that they have access to the resources and supports that they need to heal from the trauma they have experienced, our hope is that this arrest will give them a sense of peace and confidence in knowing that the offender is no longer on the streets. Before I turn it over to Chief Newsham, I want to emphasize the critical role that security cameras play in helping us solve these types of crimes, capturing critical evidence that can be used to bring those responsible for violent crimes to justice. If you don't have a security camera, or if you've recently installed a camera on your property, take a look at our private security rebate program. Simply by installing a camera and registering it with MPD, you become eligible for this rebate. Currently, we have 15,000 cameras in our network, and we add one each and every day. So again, thanks to our residents, business owners, and nonprofits who have participated in this program, and everyone in this neighborhood for working with us in getting evidence to lead to this arrest. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, and good afternoon, everyone. A little less than 2 weeks ago, we were here asking the public to help us identify and locate a man responsible for multiple home invasions and attacks on women in the 1600 block of Irving Street Northwest. These were attacks that we know left this neighborhood on edge. Today, I'm happy to report that thanks to the swift actions of one of our neighbors up here and officers of the Metropolitan Police Department's 3rd District, we were able to take a subject or a suspect into custody. This is a suspect with a lengthy criminal history, including previous burglary and sexual assault charges, who was on active supervision. As you recall, on Tuesday, May 21st at about 1 a.m., a female victim reported that she woke up to a stranger in her bedroom in the 1600 block of Irving Street Northwest. The suspect approached the victim in her bedroom, stating that he was armed with a gun and he demanded money. The suspect then forced the victim to undress and sexually assaulted her. Following the attack, she was taken by the subject into a second bedroom where money was taken from a second victim. Our suspect fled the location on foot toward the south alley in the 1600 block of Irving Street Northwest. We believed that the suspect entered the location through a rear window after removing the air conditioning unit. At the time, our suspect was described as a black male, 5'10" to 6'2" in height, medium, heavy build, light brown eyes, gray or black beard, wearing a dark hooded shirt, gray sweatpants, red sneakers, and one latex glove. On Thursday, May 23rd at approximately 6 a.m., the same suspect gained entry into another apartment in the same block, the 1600 block of Irving Street. He approached the victim in her bedroom and demanded money. The suspect then engaged in an unwanted sexual act with the victim. In this case, it was believed the suspect entered the residence through an unlocked basement window in the rear of the location. The suspect left through the rear door and was last seen on a bicycle. The suspect was described as a black male wearing black shorts, black hooded shirt, red bandana, and multicolored orange shoes. In both of these cases, and as Mayor Bowser mentioned, neighbors who had surveillance footage of the suspect in the alley of the locations, we were able to release this footage to the media. Yesterday, on June 3rd at about 2:33 p.m., the suspect entered a third residence in this same block by breaking a glass window on a rear door. Once inside, he confronted two females and he demanded money. The two victims attempted to flee from the location, and an alert neighbor heard those screams. This neighbor exited his home, and he confronted the suspect in the rear alley as he attempted to flee on one of the victim's bikes. Our suspect indicated that he had a firearm, but this neighbor continued to follow him at a safe distance. The suspect then retrieved a brick, and he threw it at this neighbor, missing him, but fortunately there were officers nearby that this person was able to flag down. 3D patrol officers gave chase, and they were ultimately able to take the suspect into custody. With the assistance of the community, MPD arrested 58-year-old Lester Wilkerson of Southeast D.C. yesterday afternoon. Mr. Wilkerson is going to be charged with 3 counts of burglary 1, 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse, and assault with a dangerous weapon. I want to publicly thank the community, and more specifically the neighbor who put himself in jeopardy to assist the police in closing this case. We can take any questions that you all might have.
Chief, you said he threw a brick. Did you hit him with the brick?
He did not hit him, but he threw it at him. You can imagine how courageous this guy was. First of all, the suspect indicated that he had a gun, but he thought it was more important to protect his community. He continued to pursue him at a safe distance. And then after that, the suspect picked up a rock or a brick and he threw it at him. And he continued to follow him until police arrived, and he was able to get the police to get involved in the pursuit.
So the suspect threw the brick at the neighbor who was following him.
Absolutely.
Did this all transpire in this alley right here?
It all happened very nearby, to this location.
He threw the brick into the rock.
The suspect threw the brick, at the man that was pursuing, or the hero, I should say, that was pursuing the suspect.
And then he threw the stone.
One brick.
One brick,
One brick.
one stone, right?
One brick.
One brick, okay.
It's one brick. So the hero never came in physical contact with the suspect at any time?
Not as far as I know.
Were the previous assaults in this area, or were they somewhere else?
They were both inside of homes in the 1600 block of Irving Street. So it was right in this area.
Chief, do you believe this suspect is responsible for any other break-ins or sexual assaults?
It's one of the things that we will do with our investigation is we'll go and we'll try and find out if there are any other cases that are linked to this. As far as we know today, he's linked to these 3 cases.
You say 3 cases?
Yes.
The 2 sexual assaults
The
here?
2 prior cases and the case that happened yesterday.
Okay, the break-in.
Yep.
So Mayor Bowser, could we get your take on this hero, on this neighbor who, according to the chief, put his neighbor's safety ahead of his own?
We are extremely grateful for him. I think you can imagine the fear that residents in these blocks have. Probably one of the biggest fears that a person could have, whether they're in a home alone or another person in the home, is someone breaking in and harming them or their loved ones, and perpetrating a sexual assault, heinous crime, violent crime. And the fact that neighbors were vigilant, watching out for each other, working with the police to make sure we apprehended this individual, we probably wouldn't be here today but for that neighbor.
Chief, do you know if the residents or mayor, anybody know that the residents who gave up their surveillance video participated, got their cameras through the rebate program?
We can follow up and let you know on that, but I think the point is that these surveillance cameras are absolutely essential to assisting us with solving crimes. God forbid that this happens again in another neighborhood, but to have that video surveillance and to know in Washington, D.C., I don't know of any place else that has a program where people can get the cameras for free, essentially. And so I really urge people to take advantage of it.
Chief, we talked to some neighbors who were thrilled that you made an arrest in this case. They're afraid now that there's been an arrest that police presence and patrols will subside here, and they're kind of worried about going forward about other crimes.
This is the type of crime or repeated crimes that can really rattle a community. We are very sensitive to that, and we're not going to eliminate police presence right off the bat just because a case has been closed, because we understand that sometimes seeing the police can make people feel reassured.
Were you surprised surprised that he was able to strike potentially almost the third time, and even though you had stepped up patrols, which were pretty much the same exact area? I mean, does that concern you?
It's indicative to me of a predator who's going to keep reoffending until he is caught, and thankfully that he was caught yesterday is what it says to me.
Did he have a weapon?
We did not recover a weapon from him yesterday.
Do you see any link between these incidents and recent kind of shootings, like right in this area?
There doesn't appear to be any link between these cases and the shootings that we had. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.